It would be bad if a plane landed without notice, right? Or if it overflew without any information. Well, you immediately communicate with the United States and all the schemes are implemented. But in this case, it was notified, it was authorized and landed.
There were no United States troops coming, not at all.
Should have been consulted. No United States troops were coming, not at all. This is an authorization that was granted back in October of last year, and it specifically pertained to a training matter. Well, they have actually entered on other occasions before. The difference is that this time they boarded the plane coming from Toluca. And I specifically inquired about what exactly this reason was. They had their own reasons, but it's not, let's say, something exceptional that's done. It had been agreed since October. And these are logistical tasks that they carry out.
Good morning, President Salvador Corona, El Universal.
As a matter of fact, they must land at military air bases. And in this particular case, they landed in Toluca. And it was authorized by the Secretariat of Defense. All right, let's move on to this. Sometimes they come, and that's when authorization is indeed required. For example, there's a pending authorization for the Coast Guard that's coming to Mexico. That one specifically has to be authorized by the Senate of the Republic. And it's awaiting authorization in February. So when it has its, because the full Senate must be in session, it cannot be the permanent commission.
It is happening based on three factors, isn't it? There are the
overuse of what?
of what it actually is.
So immediately we had alerted both the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of National Defense, which is the department that has to authorize the entry of any aircraft into Mexican territory. And we were in constant communication with the embassy to be able to understand exactly what they were proposing. Just as was the case with the Ministry of Communications and Transportation, Infrastructure, Communications and Transportation, which is the one that has the relationship with the FWA. We delayed the official statement until we had absolute certainty, in fact, that there was no authorized overflight over Mexico.
Okay, President, just one more thing on the subject of this permit or authorization.
Once we had certainty, then the statement was issued by the Secretariat of Infrastructure, Communications and Transportation, that it was not an overflight over national territory. Entonces, they even provided exact locations, and these were situated in international waters. So there was a period of about 2 hours during which we had not been informed beforehand. This was an aviation-related communication. No other country had been notified, not just Mexico, but no one. And during that period, until we had absolute certainty, because first we received a phone confirmation that there was nothing within our national territory, but until we had that certainty in writing, only then was the official statement issued. So no, it had absolutely nothing to do with anything within our national territory. Let's move on. It would be quite problematic if an aircraft were to land without any prior warning, wouldn't it? Or if it were to fly over without having any crucial information at all.
What would happen then, President, since you bring it up?
No, well, you immediately contact, right, with the United States, and all the arrangements are made. But in this case, he was notified, he was authorized, and he landed.
So, just to clarify or to make it clear, the Mexican soldiers are the ones traveling to the United States on this plane.
Public officials, they boarded that plane, and then they traveled to that location for some important training.
Okay.
Who is the one authorizing this?
The Ministry of National Defense primarily is the one that is in charge of this, and we are actively strengthening the national security system, ensuring that it coordinates effectively to guarantee it's better they travel on a Mexican Air Force plane to that location. So, but it was authorized, and it had been authorized for quite some time.
Frentenews.com. I wanted to ask you, Madam President, if I may be permitted, a question for the head of the Stat.
Did Mexico request or did the US offer?
It is part of the agreements that people from the United States also come here to receive training. It's something very important for everyone to know. It is bilateral. For example, what exactly do they come here to be trained in? The de-entry plan and various other training courses. So these are all part of the agreements, bilateral training programs that are established between one state and another, and these are strictly regulated. They are not simply at the request of someone who doesn't possess the necessary qualifications or authority. That is to say, he should not be a part of the security cabinet, and particularly the national security system. Let's go with Mexican humanism.
Times of India videos, your daily dose of India and the world. Global news, different views, and sharp analysis.
Pressure of expectation from your fans, your supporters.
That has often served as a backdrop for several Bollywood.
You're not a brute majority anymore. If you individually take out play, right?
Making sense of global conflicts. Tracking the new emerging world order.
Strike on Israeli military bases.
A multi-pronged.
To stay out of harm's way as Israel started bombing targets across.
Understanding changing alliances in a polarized world. Tune into TOI videos for all this and more. Click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an update.